Hello, in this video I'm going to cover the national minimum wage rates applicable in the UK from April 2018. The rates will be reviewed again from April 2019. So from the 1st of April 2018, for those aged 25 and over, the national living wage, which is just another term for national minimum wage really, rises by 33 pence from £7.50 an hour to £7.83 an hour. For those aged 21 and over but under 25, the national minimum wage will be £7.38. For 18 to 20-year-olds it's £5.90, and for 16 and 17-year-olds it's £4.20. And for those on apprentice schemes, the rate will rise from £3.50 to £3.70 per hour. Now these are the rates as a minimum you have to pay people for every hour worked in a pay period. What that means is if you pay staff weekly, then every hour worked in that week has to be on average at least the national minimum wage rate applicable to the employee. If you pay monthly, the average is taken across the month. What you cannot do is average across more than one pay period. So for example, if you pay weekly and in week 1, let's say, the average is below the minimum rate, you can't argue that significantly higher earnings in weeks 2 and 3 and 4, for example, offset the lower rate in week 1. The pay period is absolute, and if a worker isn't paid the minimum rate for hours worked in any particular pay period, an offence will have occurred, and that's punishable by potentially some very hefty fines. Now in some cases there are some deductions you can make, but these are very limited. Deductions can be made for accommodation provided with the employment, for example, but it's limited from April 2018 to a maximum that you can deduct of £7 a day, and that's a maximum then of £49 per week. Deductions for other reasons that have the effect of lowering the minimum wage below the permitted level will be unlawful. You can't deduct for utility bills, for example. You can't deduct for the provision of uniforms. There are some other specific rules too. So if you operate in the restaurant industry or pubs and so forth, then you cannot count tips as part of the national minimum wage. HMRC will come down heavily on underpayments, and particular industries are always of interest to them. So hotels and restaurants, hair salons and so on will continue to be of interest because that's where most of the offences tend to occur.